We're surrounded by ads every single day, right? But have you ever really stopped to think about what they're actually doing? Today, we're going to follow a researcher's quest to uncover advertising's hidden social purpose.
So let's just ask it straight up. What is the real purpose of an ad? I mean, on the surface, the answer seems pretty obvious, right? It's to sell you something. But what if I told you that every ad you see is part of a much bigger, almost invisible conversation about who we are as a society?
Because that really is the deeper truth here. Beyond just moving products off a shelf, advertising is this incredibly powerful force. It can influence everything from public opinion during a major crisis to our collective understanding of social justice. And it's that tension, that pull between commerce and culture that we're digging into today.
So, how do we untangle all this? Well, we're going to follow the trail of one researcher who has made it her mission to understand this hidden social role of advertising.
Our guide on this journey is Hui Shi, who goes by Anya. She's a doctoral student at the University of Miami. And for her, the most interesting stuff happens right at that messy intersection where corporate profits meet public discourse.
Just let that sink in for a second. This quote right here, it basically captures her whole idea. Advertising isn't just a monologue from a brand shouting at you. It's a dialogue. It's a space where we, as consumers, actually work with brands to figure out what matters.
But look, this is way more than just a cool theory. Anya's research puts this idea to the test in some of the most challenging situations you can imagine, starting with moments of full-blown crises.
Imagine being a brand stuck in the middle of a public relations nightmare. That's the world of disaster marketing, a field that looks at how brands communicate when the stakes are at their absolute highest. And it's a core focus of her work.
Her award-winning case study was a really complex one, the Fukushima wastewater release. She wanted to know how seafood ads were being seen in 3 neighboring countries, Japan, China, and South Korea, and each one, of course, had its own unique cultural lens on the event. And her findings? They were crystal clear. In a crisis, a one-size-fits-all ad campaign is just a recipe for failure. An ad that might reassure a Japanese audience by talking about tradition and national pride could completely backfire in South Korea if it's seen as ignoring their specific safety concerns. The message has to be tailored.
Now, what's really interesting is how she applies this same kind of thinking to the very tricky world of brand activism. Her framework shows that whether a campaign succeeds or fails really hinges on 2 key factors you see here. First, the cultural context. Does the society have tight norms with strict rules or loose norms that are more permissive? And second, the political ideology of the consumers themselves.
And that's really the core insight. A brand's message isn't just a broadcast, it's a reception. Its true meaning is created inside the mind of the consumer, and it's filtered through their culture, their politics, and their own personal experiences.
So we've seen these fascinating findings, but how does she actually get to these conclusions? I mean, this isn't just guesswork. It's a really rigorous scientific process.
Her method is this systematic 3-step process. It all starts with strategically crafting a message to test a specific hypothesis. Then she designs a controlled experiment to measure people's genuine reactions, not just what they say they feel. And finally, she dives deep into the data, using quantitative analysis to uncover the hidden patterns in how we all respond.
But she's not stopping there. Oh no. Her research is now moving into the next great frontier of advertising, artificial intelligence. She's exploring how AI and large language models are becoming the new authors of brand messages and how that changes everything we've just talked about. Which, brings us to the ultimate question here. What's the goal of all this research? Where is this whole journey leading?
It's all about building a better future for advertising, one where it can thoughtfully engage with social issues, ethically adopt new technologies like AI, and ultimately find that sweet spot where a brand's message also brings real value to society.
And this forward-thinking approach, it is definitely not going unnoticed. The fact that our work is already winning prestigious awards shows just how urgent and important these questions are for the future of the entire industry.
Ultimately, this whole research quest is driven by a desire to help create a more thoughtful, more inclusive, and more socially responsible advertising industry. It's about transforming advertising from just a simple tool for selling into a real force for positive connection and understanding.
So the next time you see an ad, what are you going to see? Will you see just a sales pitch, or will you see a piece of a much larger conversation about who we are and what we value?